If you're an Xbox 360 collector, you've probably noticed that there are a lot of arcade compilations out there. And while we didn't get some of the really cool stuff like Capcom Classics Volume 1 and Volume 2 and all the Midway collections from last generation, we did get some new stuff this generation, this past generation. And I'm going to go through the full collection right now. I think I have all of these, although every once in a while I'll see one that I've never even heard of just kind of in a random spot on Amazon. So possibly I have all these. I count any of these as games that you cannot buy physically. So there are some compilations. For example, Capcom put out one that had like Resident Evil 6 and some other stuff on it. Actually, I think it did have a digital download for Mega Man 9 or 10 on that one. But this is anything on disc that you cannot buy a physical copy of elsewhere, if that makes any sense. So let's go through these, and I'll give you a little bit of rating for each of these as well. So first and foremost, really the pinnacle of all of these compilations, you probably have this one, Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. So I'm going to go through it very quickly. You should be able to find this one for under $15. But if you can only find it for $20, it's still worth it. It's an incredible collection, not just Genesis games, but there are some Master System and arcade games on here as well. 40 games, more than 40 games actually. It's even got Golden Axe Warrior on the Master System. So save states, there is no online play. There are achievements. It is a fantastic achievement game. Getting 1,000 is a challenge, but it's not impossible. It's not frustrating. I mean, this is a 10 out of 10. It is missing some games that you might wish were on there, such as Castle of Illusion, but that's because, you know, Sega's not going to pay Disney to keep releasing those. It doesn't have Toe Jam and Earl either, which, you know, for some people may be really frustrating, but Sega didn't make Toe Jam and Earl. They would have had to pay for this. They own the publishing rights to Toe Jam and Earl 1 and 2, but they still have to pay the developers to release this, so this is just Sega stuff. Next up, Midway Arcade Origins, and this one is a little bit weird. So first of all, you see this was at GameStop at one point. I got this for, I think, $11. It's lower now. It's under $10, and it does have achievements. It does have online multiplayer and leaderboards, so that's pretty cool. The downside is that the game collection is a little bit disappointing. For example, there's no Mortal Kombat on this, even though it's Midway. There's no Rampage World Tour. You do get the original Rampage. There are some cool games on here. You do get Gauntlet. You get Total Carnage. You get the original Rampage. You get Rampart, which is a lot of fun. Smash TV, Spy Hunter, Super Off-Road's amazing. Tubin, very underrated game. Marble Madness, Pit Fighter. But the reason why this is called Midway Arcade Origins is because it's the older game. So if you want some of the newer arcade games that they put out, and by newer I mean like pretty much anything that came out in the 90s, you're going to have to get the old Midway collection on the PS2 and the Xbox. So again, there's some cool stuff here, but a Midway collection without Mortal Kombat, that just seems crazy to me. And that's probably because, well, you know, Mortal Kombat, when did it come out? It came out, oh boy, 90, 91, somewhere around there. But it could be a licensing issue because I don't think they own Mortal Kombat anymore. So who knows? But I give this about a 7 out of 10. Again, if you want old Midway arcade games, that's cool. And there are good games on here. But when you think Midway, you think really awesome arcade games, and there's definitely some that are missing. Maybe I'm being a little bit prejudiced against the older stuff because it was sort of the newer Midway stuff that I like. Next up, we got Cubed, and you can see I paid $3.50 for this. I got this one from GameStop. This is a little bit of a secret collection because it's called Cubed, but it has 3 games. It has Cubed, Luminous Live, and Res HD. Res is really cool. All 3 games are great. Atari actually put this one out. Pretty good compilation, really cheap. Again, you get these for under $5. That's a great deal. So absolutely worth it. Check it out. Now here's when we get into the dregs, but only momentarily. Most of these collections are pretty good. PopCap Volume 1 and Volume 2. So as you can see, these are mostly games you're not going to want to play. Even though Feeding Frenzy 1 and 2 are fun, Heavy Weapons fun, Peggle, Zuma, these are all good games, Astropop. But the problem with these games, and the sides look really cool on your shelf, by the way, the problem is that these are pretty damn pricey because they just didn't make a lot of these and they didn't sell very well. These can go upwards of $40 a piece. You have to be careful when buying these. I don't think they're as uncommon as the price would indicate. don't pay more than like 20 bucks for these. But at the same time, if you get all these other ones that are relatively cheap, you may wonder, oh man, I need to get those. I have to get those. And you may end up paying more than you do. I hope they drop in price. They may not, but maybe they will. I give them about a 5 each. I would say if you had to get one, maybe get Volume 2 because Heavy Weapon's a lot of fun. But I mean, these are essentially what you get from like old Flash games. And you don't even get Plants vs. Zombies on there, even though they did release that on Xbox Live Arcade. They suck. Oh, check this out. My Konami Classics Volume 1 reduced price sticker. I got these for $35 combined. These are getting pricey, and there's the reason why these are going to be pricey. Castlevania Symphony of the Night on the Volume 1 disc. Reality is that, look, that's a HD version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night with achievements. Let's be honest, physical copies, you can't go wrong on that. The Saturn version goes for about $100. I'm not saying this one's going to get there because it's not, but I mean, you also get Super C, get Super Contra, and you get Frogger as well. So, again, I paid $35 combined. You can find these at GameStop for, I think, Volume 1's $17 and Volume 2's $20. If you can find them for that, and you're a Power Up Rewards Pro member, not a bad idea to buy them because these, especially Volume 1, even though Volume 2 is going for more, it's Rush and Attack, Track and Field, nobody wants Track and Field, and Contra. And these are all the arcade, Xbox Live Arcade versions, so you get all the achievements and everything. These are pretty cool compilations. It's kind of funny because these are called Konami Classics Volume 1 and Volume 2. Last generation, you had Capcom Classics Volume 1 and Volume 2, and they had a lot more games. And the PS2 versions are pretty common, pretty cheap. But the original Xbox version, especially Capcom Classics Volume 2, going for over $30 now. I don't know if those are going to stay at $20 or $25 or whatever they're going for right now. Again, it's difficult to tell because a lot of stuff is just locked up in people's basements, and once it gets unleashed, how many copies are out there right now? Most people who are selling those, are trying to get top dollar and everything. So, anyways, I give those. They're a little bit pricey, but I'll give them about a 7 each. Xbox Live Arcade Unplugged, Tree Fitty. Very cheap, very, very common. A lot of games on this thing. Let's see what we've got. I think there's 6 games. Yeah, there's 6 games. Texas Hold'em. I don't know. Bejeweled 2. Outpost Koloki X. Is that what that says? Geometry Wars Retro Evolved. Hardwood Backgammon, and Wick Fable of Souls. So this is actually a really good collection. I give this an 8 because it's really cheap. There's a lot of games on here. It's really easy to find. No, it's not going to make you rich 10 years from now, but if you want to play some cool games, absolutely worth getting. Now this is a curious little game. So this is called Xbox Live Arcade Game Pack. Now go and Google this very quickly and see if you get any results. Go on Amazon. You may even go on eBay. This thing at times is impossible to find. At other times it is very easy to find. It just depends on who's got copies of it. I bought it brand new from a guy who had like 25 copies. It was sealed. I didn't know. It took me a while to figure out where the hell this came from. This was packaged with an Xbox Live wireless controller. That's where it came from. That was the only way to get this. Doesn't tell you anywhere on this case, but that's where it came from. And it does come with a Miss Pac-Man. It comes with a 48-hour gold subscription trial and a copy of Miss Pac-Man, which I don't believe I have used. So if somebody wants this code, first person to send Gaming Hands a message gets this code. What's cool about this is it does come with Luminous Live and Geometry Wars Retro Evolved 2. I don't know if you can get Retro Evolved 2 on any other compilations. I just showed you one. I think Cubed, you can get Luminous Live. Bomberman Live, this is the only way to get a physical copy of Bomberman Live since it is on the disc. So that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little compilation. If you can find it for under $10, buy it. Could be worth some money. It's hard to say because it's definitely going to be uncommon, but it came with Xbox 360 wireless controllers. How many did they sell? Did they sell 1 million of them? People buy controllers all the time. It's hard to tell. But it's pretty cool. But yeah, first person to message Gaming Hands gets that Miss Pac-Man code. Here's a pretty cool one. Namco Museum Virtual Arcade. And I know what you're saying. Oh my god, I've got this on the PlayStation 2. I've got it on the original Xbox. I've got it on the PSP. I've got it on the DS. I've got it on the Wii. Yes, I've got it on all those consoles as well. This is better. First of all, bad thing about it, no achievements. Good thing about it, HD. You can get all the games in HD. You can play them on your widescreen television. Fantastic. The best thing about this is that if you notice on the front, check out all the Xbox Live Arcade games that it comes with. It comes with Pac-Man Championship Edition, which is phenomenal, which is insanely fun. Galaga Legions, which is really, really fun. You also get Mr. Driller Online. So you're getting some, and there may be some more that I'm not. Let's see. Xevious. Yeah, plus 5 more. Yeah, they did. They added achievements to they released the arcade version of Pac-Man and added achievements, Miss Pac-Man, and all that stuff. So you're getting all of those, all the Xbox Live Arcade games, but you're also getting the big, like the remasters, like I said, Pac-Man Champion Edition and Galaga. There's a lot of stuff on here. So you do get achievements with all those, but you do not get achievements on the standard Namco Museum stuff. Also, they were kind of lazy on the menus, but I actually prefer that because it means I can get into a game very quickly. I give this an 8, solid 8, maybe an 8.5. A little pricey. It can run you anywhere from $13 to $20 in that range. But again, what's great about this is that, this is something that there's a ton of games on here. There's a lot of stuff to do on there. Fantastic compilation, best version of Namco Museum ever. Zumas Revenge, this is kind of a compilation. This is more PopCap stuff. You get Bejeweled 3 and Feeding Frenzy 2. So it's kind of a compilation. It's about a $6, $7 game. Here's another one that it counts, but it doesn't necessarily fit. This is a Ubisoft. This is called the Triple Pack. You get Trials HD, you get Limbo, and you get Splosion Man. I think I paid $6 for this on eBay. It's $10 at GameStop's probably going to stay there. It's pretty common. Still a pretty good collection if you can find it for under $10. Dreamcast Collection. This one's a little pricey. This can run you upwards of $20. If you can find it for under $15, grab it. You get Sonic Adventure and Crazy Taxi, which are fantastic. Space Channel 5 Part 2 and Sega Bass Fishing seem like strange additions, but what can you do? It's still a pretty good compilation. Disc is pretty cool looking. Manual's alright. Again, it's getting a little pricey, but you get 4 games. Sonic Adventure and Crazy Taxi to me are more than worth it, so not bad. But yeah, Space Channel and Space Channel was great back in the day. So was Sega Bass Fishing, but I don't know if people necessarily want to play them all that much nowadays. Serious Sam Collection, I actually did buy this at GameStop for $10. You get a ton of Serious Sam games plus the DLC. I actually have this on Steam, which is strange because I'm not a big Serious Sam fan. If you like old school Duke Nukem and Doom and Shadow Warrior, this generation would be a decent comparison as well. It's pretty fun. You can have fun with it. But, maybe you should check out a Serious Sam game before you start playing it because you may not like it. I'm counting this in the compilation, Sega Superstars Tennis, and the reason why is it comes with Xbox Live Arcade compilation disc. And this is not Xbox Live Arcade Unplugged, even though it looks like it. What's cool about this, it's got Pac-Man Champion Edition, looks like Feeding Frenzy. What else is on here? I don't know what the hell this is. That might be... I don't know, Uno, and that looks like Boom Boom Rocket. Was there a game called Boom Boom Rocket? Is that what it was called from Criterion? I think that's what it was, a little rhythm game. So it's pretty cool. This is really, really common. You could probably find this at GameStop for $5, maybe even less than that, maybe in $1. This was packaged with Xbox 360s. That's how I got it, so there's probably a lot of them. And last, and most certainly not least, a great little compilation disc. Capcom Digital Collection. You get a lot of cool games here. You get one complete flaming turd, but everything else is just phenomenal. So, Street Fighter II HD Remix is awesome. It's just a fantastic version of the game. 1942 Joint Strike. I know a lot of people don't like it. I like it. When you talk about shmups, this is a physical copy of a shmup. So if you want all the shmups, I think you have to have this one too. Bonnet Commando Rearmed 2. I don't know why they're calling it Rearmed 2 exactly. That's confusing. But I'm actually not a big fan of this version. I prefer the NES version because I just don't like the visual style. I never understood why they just take out all the detail. That's not what makes something retro, So I'll get off the soapbox. Final Fight Double Impact. There's actually 2, 4, 6. Yeah, there's actually 9 games on here because this is Final Fight and Magic Sword. I got this for $5 on Xbox Live Arcade, which is an incredible deal, and you get it on here. Puzzle Fighter. Commando 3 Wolf of the Battlefield, fun game, really fun game, and there's a lot of co-op stuff on here as well. Flock is a really cool puzzle game. Here's the Flaming Turd. This is, I don't even know what the fuck this is called, like Rocketman Axis of something or other. This game is just horrific. I don't know where it came from. I think it was their first Xbox Live Arcade game. It is absolutely brutal. but everything else is phenomenal. Online co-op for pretty much, well, for a lot of these. Battlefield. I said called it Battlefield. I'm so sorry. It says Battlefield. That's why I say it says Battlefield, and then there's the number 3. Commando, Wolf of the Battlefield, Commando 3 is really, really cool. Joint Strike is really cool. These are great throwbacks. Again, I'm kind of confused about this Bionic Commando Rearm. I thought it was Bionic Commando Rearm. Did they make another one? I don't know. I'm confused now. I probably should have done my research. But that 2 is really, really throwing me off now. I'm gonna have to check that out. See what the thing is with that. Pretty basic disc, pretty boring disc. I do, however, have a little bit of fun here. I do have a sealed copy. And I tell you what, I'm going to give out that Miss Pac-Man code. Let's see who watched the entire video and listened to the entire video. Gaming Hands is just getting started on Facebook. I'm going to post some of this stuff on YouTube eventually, but right now I'm just posting on Facebook because I don't want to come across as one of these guys who's trying to get rich off of videos. I could give a shit. I'm just trying to help people out, inform gamers, and have some fun while doing so. But I tell you what, first person to send me a message requesting Capcom Digital Collection, I'm going to mail you this. I'm just going to throw it in the mailbox. I'm going to print out a shipping label, and you're going to get this absolutely free. It's sealed, brand new, and so that's a pretty cool deal, right? So that's the compilations. I believe that's all of them. If I'm missing one, let me know, because it is very possible. And I'm not counting, again, like the Capcom stuff, the games where you can buy a physical copy in the store. I'm not counting those because I don't consider those necessary. Those aren't like, what I'm calling like the arcade classic collection. So yeah, there's a couple of stipulations with this collection. But some of these games we don't typically see with collecting. And I talk about prices a lot. I don't want people to obsess over something being, oh my god, I have something really valuable and uncommon. But the thing is, if you start to want a game and it's hard to find and it becomes expensive, of all these, it's hard to say which ones are going to become the most expensive. Konami Classics Volume 1, that certainly has potential. And I think Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, which is down here off screen, that's a really fantastic collection. And when you start talking about achievements, the potential for backwards, some of these are backwards compatible, but the interfaces aren't necessarily backwards compatible. I should probably try these out because, I think some of these Dreamcast games might be backwards compatible. I think Symphony of the Night is backwards compatible. So I'm wondering if you put in these discs, because typically what they do is they just load up the games onto your arcade menu. So I might pop these in, see if these will actually load up the games on the Xbox One into the library. I'm saying 99% chance it won't work, but it's still worth a shot. But these are some great collections. Again, I really wish Capcom hadn't put out that arcade cabinet where they're selling packs of games. I really hate that damn thing. I wish they just put out a $60 disc of all those games, even though it's double the price. I would have paid for it, but there's some good stuff here. Absolutely worth checking out. If you're an Xbox 360 collector, this is the stuff you want. There's obviously more stuff you want. You want to collect all the shmups, you want to collect all the JRPGs, all the fighting games, all the Western RPGs and all that stuff, because that's the stuff that is going to become pricey first. And some people are going to say, well, fighting games are never worth anything. But I do think, well, first of all, there are some very pricey fighting games. I do think this last generation we are going to see, because especially on the 360, a lot of those Japanese fighting games sold poorly, like King of Fighters 12 and 13. We've already seen those double in price in the last couple of years. So, but yes, these are worth checking out. These are worth grabbing onto before. Again, some of these are going to become pricey. Some of the prices are going to go up, but some of these, especially, I think this, tell you, Konami Classics Volume 1, because of goddamn Symphony of the Night, get that one. Get that one as quickly as humanly possible.